So basically, we are going to talk about how to use email template in Microsoft Dynamics CRM. The let me try to okay. Um, CRM offers the possibility of use email templates that you could configure. Basically, you could configure your own template or you could configure templates for a whole company. The idea is that today I'm going to explain you how to configure both of them. And for that purpose, I'm going to be explaining you a couple of topics. The first one is going to be general considerations, how to use it, how to create a template, how to use the template, and some special features that you need to know because by default, the CRM is going to provide you some ways to use the email template, but there are some functionalities that probably you want to get, and there's not going to be an easy way to do it, but I'm going to explain you how to do it. It's not too complex. So at the beginning, and for considerations, you need to you need to keep in mind this specific point. The first one is that each template must have a name. You cannot create a template without define a name. You need to define the name. You need to define the level. What's the level? If you create a template that is going to be user level, it means that just you can use the template. But if you configure the template in organization level, it means that everybody in the company is going to be available to use that template. Each template is going to be associated to a specific entity. The system is going to allow you to define what's the entity that is going to be related to that specific template. So you will define that it's going to be for contacts, for accounts, for opportunities, wherever, but it's going to be just out of the box entities. If you want to define a template that is going to be attached to custom entity, you need to define the template in a global mode. I'm going to explain you that later. Each template is associated to a language. Basically, if you want to define automatic templates or if you want to filter the templates based on the language that you have configured in your user, it's important to define the language that is related to that specific template. And this is pretty important. If you want to include a specific image, try to relate that image to a image that is in a public URL. Because if you define an image that is, I mean, you could copy and paste the image there, or you could use an image that is inside the CRM. That image is going to be available, it's going to be visible for people that is in the CRM. So if you send that kind of images, it's going to be visible for that kind of for the users inside the CRM. But if you send that email to an external user, the image is not going to appear. So that's why I suggest just try to use public URL. I mean, put the image in a site that is available in a public URL and try to use that images. Okay, so the first one is going to be how to create a template. Basically, and I'm gonna pass to the CRM. Basically, if you are here in the CRM, the first thing that you could do is just click here in advanced settings. That's a way to do it. Just go there to an advanced settings. In advanced settings, you could go here to templates, and here you will find the option email templates. That's one way to do it. Another way to do it is just go directly to just go directly to an app that has like sorry. You could go directly to, for example, customer service admin center, and there you could define what's going to be the template that you want to use. Okay, so you just need to come here, and that's so here you could define what's the template that you want to use, but it depends of the permissions that you have available in your user. So if you don't have enough permissions, you are not going to be available to come here. So it depends of the permissions that you have it. Just let me see the option that's going to be. for a moment, I'm gonna explain you this here. So you need to enter the email templates. And here you could define what's going to be the template that you want to use. So for example, if I want to create a new template, I just need to create a new. The system by default is going to ask you what's the entity that is going to be related to that template. So you need to define one of the out of the box entities, or you need to define global if you want to use a custom entity. In this case, I'm going to select contact. And I'm going to just try to create a template based on the information that I have. Let me see, like for example, let me see that is welcome contact, welcome to the company, something like that. I'm going to define that is going to be an organization template. And here I should define this template is the template that I will use to blah, blah, blah. So you need to define, hey, what's the description? You could define the subject that is going to apply to that template. Let's say that is going to be the same one. And here you could define the context or the information that you want to include. Hi, let's say that I'm gonna say, hi, welcome to the company. Okay, so uh, you could include here images, tables, any kind of stuff. I mean, all the things that you could define with this bar. Basically, what we are doing is just creating an email template, define the name, define the permission level, define the language, define the description, the subject. And additionally, you could include images, for example. So for example, here, if you want to include image, my suggestion will be just click here and in the icon and just try to use a web address URL. I think that's better just to be sure that the image is going to be automatically shown in the browser when the people use it. Let's say, for example, any kind of images. Let's say that you select one image that you wanted, probably one that's going to be in your server. But the idea is just try to use an image directly. Don't try to let's try to use one of this one. So you need to identify what's the URL for that images and just paste the URL directly to your browser. Okay. So for example, in this case, you just need to put the image here and that's it. If you want, you could just include the image but my suggestion is going to be try to use it in a URL. Okay, so the way to do it is just click on the image button, and after that, just try to fill it out all the form. You could define the URL. You could define if you want to include an alternative text. That means that anytime that someone pass the mouse over the image, is going to appear this specific text. You could define a specific width or a specific height if you want to try to reduce or expand the image, but the idea is try to upload the image with exactly the dimensions that you wanted. If you want to make the image clickable, I mean, if you want to that someone click the image and go directly to another site or something like that, you could just define a target URL and it's going to work. Actually, you could define if it's going to open in a new window, it's going to open in the same window, or it's going to open in a different one. You could define the alignment of the image. So there is a lot of things that you could define. Additionally, you could include tables. You could include just I mean there are multiple things that you could define here. Okay, so basically that's one way to do it. Additionally, you could define the general font, the size, and some other things. Okay, so basically you are defining the template there. Okay. Another thing that you could do is insert dynamic text. So what is insert dynamic text? Like, let's say that, for example, here I want to say hi and the name of the contact. So you just need to click here and insert dynamic text. And you could define here, like, for example, contact. And let's say that you want to just try to be more like casual or something like that. So you could use, for example, the first name. and 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 the text is going to appear here. And actually, you could do it in the subject as well. Welcome to the company. You could just insert here. You could define contact. You could define here the name of the field. You could use any field in the entity. And like for example here, welcome to the company, and here is going to appear the name of the person directly in the subject. So that's an easy way to try customize the email and try to make more personal. Basically here I'm explaining how to use a template. So at this point, I just created a template that is a pretty simple template. Okay, so I just welcome to the company. That's the name of my template. So if you want to use it, you just need to go directly to the contact, for example. Let me go back and try to show you. Like, for example, let's open a contact. For example, this one. I'm gonna go contact. I'm gonna try to open one of these contacts here. And let's say that I'm going to send an email. For example, here, I'm going to click on new. I'm going to click on email. And as soon as I enter here, I need to click on insert template. Okay, the system is going to show me a window that is going to allow me to select the template that I want to use. Like, for example, welcome to the company. I guess that should be here. Welcome to the company. That's the template that we just created. I just need to select that. And I'm going to apply the template. So the CRM is going to modify the subject, is going to put here the template, and it's going to include all the elements that I previously did. Okay, so it's an easy way to use it. And I mean, most of the things that probably I'm talking, you already know that because it's something pretty simple, but I just want to go step by step and explaining you how to use it. Something that I want to highlight is the special features. What's the special feature? As you know, or as I just show you, when you try to configure the template, the system is going to show you just the basic entities. So like, for example, these entities. But what happens if you create a new entity, like, for example, summary, or like, for example, I don't know, something different, and you want to send an email that is related to that specific entity, and you want to include information in the template that is based on that specific entity. So if you don't relate the entity to this specific, if you don't relate the template, sorry, to one of these specific entities, you cannot select the fields for this entity. So what you need to do there is that you need to create a global template. When you create a global template, you are telling the CRM, okay, I'm going to attach the template to another entity that is going to be a custom entity, or it shouldn't be necessarily a custom entity. It's an entity that doesn't appear in this selection. So let's say that, I don't know, a different one. Let's say another one that is not here, or one custom entity. So you could select the global entity, the global template type. And what you need to keep in mind is that you cannot insert the fields directly using the button. I mean, you cannot just go here and let me show you that. Like, for example, welcome to the company. Where is there? That's over here. Welcome to the company. That's the template that we just created. When I create this one, I just showed you that if you want to insert a field, you just need to click on Insert Dynamic Text. For global templates, you cannot do that. For global templates, the procedure is just write it. And the way to do it is this one. So you need to use these specific characters, okay? Define here the entity name of, I mean, the logical entity name. So let's say that is like, for example, OPT custom document or something like that. You need to define here the logical name. You need to define, after that, you need to put these two dots. And after that, you need to define the logical name of the field that you want to include. Okay, and after that, you need to include the semicolon. So this is the way to do it. And actually, if you want to include a default test or something like that, you could do it as well. But this is the way to do it. And after that, you just need to click save, and the system is going to replace the test properly. But it's the way to do it. Probably you're going to find that in the Microsoft documentation, but I mean, in the CRM, you're not going to find that. But if you try to look a little bit more on the Microsoft documentation, you're going to find this. So it is, and this is pretty important. If you want to include a simple test, you need to do it in this way. I mean, a text field. But if you want to include an option set test, like for example, a priority or something like that, that is going to be an option set. You need to define the name of the entity. You need to define the name of the field. After that, you need to click slash and add and the name. If you don't do that, the system is going to include the internal number of the option set, and you don't want it. I mean, you want the name. So that's the way to do it. If you want to include a lookup field, like for example, country, or if you want to relate a contact, or if you want to relate an account, that is going to be a lookup field, you need to do it in this way. And if you want to include a date field, you need to do it in this way. I mean, you need to define the name of the entity, you need to define the name of the field. After that, you need to define that is a date, and you need to define a default value if you want it. Okay, so this is pretty important to do it. Let's 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 see if I can do it here. Like for example, you need to define you. You need to define. Actually, probably have a role. Like for example, here should be one global. Yeah. Like for example, this one. So you just need to create a template that is going to be global. And after that, in the text editor or in the content editor, you are going to find something like that. As you can see here, custom document and name doesn't appear like this one because this one is more like a logical name. But if you, when you create it and you define a logical name, as soon as you save it, the CRM is going to replace that for like the show names. So it's going to I mean, that's the way to compare that it's going to work because the CRM is going to replace the names according to the show name that has that field. So that's the way to do it. Just create a global template, and after that, just include the fields here. What happens if you click insert? Just user is going to appear, so it's not going to work. So that's why I just mentioned that you need to do it by yourself. You need to write it using this structure, and it's going to work. Okay. As soon as you do it, the template is going to be available, and after that, you could use it in the same way that I used it previously. Just enter to the entity, include an email activity, insert template, select the template, and it's going to work. In this case, it's going to appear the front name that is the front URL that the front email that is going to be the person that is creating the email. It's going to appear the two that is going to be the contact that is related to that. It's going to appear the subject that you define it to template, and it's going to appear the test. Additionally, you could include additional information here. So I mean, so you could just write additional things. The template is just that, a template. It's going to bring you the valuable information, but you could include additional information if you want it. Okay, so that's a good way to do it. After that, you just need to save it. And as soon as you save it, the CRM is going to send the email automatically. Okay, so that's basically the way to use the email template. If you want to try it by yourself, you just need to go to this trial instance. It's available 24/7 for Optimus and for all the people that is attending to this webinar. So you could go there to this URL, try with this user and this password. This is a system administrator. So you could do all the things that we just showed in the webinars, and it's going to be available anytime. So if you want to try it, just go there and try the information that I just showed you. If you have any question, you just let me know. You could just send me an email to this email, and you could just ask me anything that you wanted, or if you want, for example, a copy of the presentation, or if you want to have additional information, just let us know, and I'm gonna answer you as soon as I can. And that's it. I know that it's a simple topic, but we just wanted to present you that information because we consider that it's important for your daily operation in the CRM. Okay, so thanks everyone for the time, and I hope you see you in the next webinar.